talking about hope being born in Matthew 12:21, and it says, "In His name the nations will put their hope." When we think about Christmas, what do we think about? Going to the mall, battling the crowds, the stress of it all, going crazy. Just trying to find a parking space is enough to stress you out. But you know, there's this woman, she got done Christmas shopping and was waiting for the elevator, and she had to wait through about 3 elevators. Finally, she was determined to get on that next one. She pushed her way into it. She got on that elevator, set her bags down, just exhausted, and just stressed out, and said, whoever is responsible for this Christmas, they need to be strung up and murdered. And from the back of the elevator, a voice chimed from a little boy. It was already done. His name is Jesus. You know, when we think about, you know, we tend to forget what Christmas is all about. A lot of times they commercialize it so much, and a lot of people just tend to put the real meaning of Christmas behind this a lot of times. You know, Christmas is all about, it's about bringing hope into our lives. It's not about the sorrow or the stress. I mean, it's amazing how much a little baby can bring hope into your life. And when you see the child being born. And Christmas for a lot of people has become a time of stress and anxiety and depression. Some people, you get a little higher suicide rate during these Christmas holidays because people being alone or just feel like it's the end of the world for them. You know, but Christmas is actually a message of hope. Message of hope, even in the midst of hopelessness. Hope is talking to us all, okay? You hear hope talking to us? It's talking to you in different ways. But there's a lot of times people don't hear that hope because it's being drowned out by the anxiety, the hopelessness that people exhibit. A lot of times people will, it's kind of like, there's a program, I can't remember, but you see they had one kid and then all of a sudden everybody's just talking over each other. That's about what it's going to feel like with hope. You get that hope and then all of a sudden Satan's going to start having his little things going on and talking over God's hope. You know, and hope is talking to us through Jesus. And remember that one little song, there's one Christmas song, "Do you hear what I hear?"
Yeah.
That's, you got to think about that song when we start Satan starts getting in the way of our hope. In Luke chapter 2 verse 10, you know, this, I'm not going to read the whole Luke chapter 2 is about the Christmas story about it, but in 2:10 he said, "The angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. See, I bring you good news of great joy, which is for people.'" We have, you know, he came to the shepherds at that time and told the shepherds not to be afraid. And we want to know why shepherds. Why didn't he go to the kings? Why didn't he go to noblemen? You know, all these people of great influence he could have went to. But he went to shepherds. Kind of symbolic of Jesus being the great shepherd, isn't he?
Amen.
God also chose shepherds because at that time they were kind of at the bottom of the social ladder. They were kind of the outcasts of people. They were just, I mean, it was, they were the no good. But you know what? Jesus, that great shepherd, come to us, outcasts. We were outcasts he come to us, the broken, the lost sinners. And I remember one thing I saw somewhere that said he was born to die. I mean, that's kind of like, he gave us a hope that we can be with our Father forever in heaven after we leave this earth. Because without him, we wouldn't have been able to do it. We could do all the sacrificing in the world. And the angels that brought that message of hope. They were saying you don't have to be afraid. And why is that? Because Jesus is on the scene now. You know, like never fear, Jesus is here. And that he is the hope of the world, of your world. Fear actually, what it stands for, false evidence.
Fear is real.
False evidence that appears real. Or it's also like paying interest on something you're never going to own. I mean, would anybody want to pay for a house that they're not going to own? Okay, I don't got to make car payments on something I won't own eventually. Lord knows I got enough interest on that car loan. You know, what fear does is it chokes out our ability to trust God. When we start getting in fear, it's just like having, we all had bullies when we were in school, right? A lot of us had a bully we had to deal with. I mean, I had this one kid, he's a big old kid when I was in junior high school. Kid's like 12, 13 years old, he already been shaving and looks like it has a 5 o'clock shadow going by lunchtime. One of these type of kids. He's large. The only thing to do is just head the other direction, because I wasn't about to tangle with him. But there was one day I learned I'd do a lot of weightlifting. I took a little martial arts. Found out that I was about as coordinated as a bull in a china shop there, but that's a story. That's another story altogether. The thing is, I went up there with a little more confidence. I was able to just face. I knew I was going to get my tail kicked in. But actually, the guy never did it. He was just, when I started saying to him, well, let's get it over with. I mean, win, lose, or draw. And he's like, they kind of backed away from me. Like, wait a minute. Either this guy's brave or he's crazy. So, it was, but I had a little more confidence. I had a hope. It was, like I said, I was still scared. Have you seen a duck when they're cruising around the water? You see their feet going every which way. Their feet are just going a mile a minute. But I was determined I wasn't going to let this kid intimidate me. My dad taught me that too, because my dad used to be a drill instructor. And he learned, you don't let somebody intimidate you. You don't let somebody, you just stand your ground, even though they are might whoop you. But hey, you don't let them intimidate you. You don't let them win that battle of the minds. Satan's bullying us too, isn't he? He's always bullying. I mean, he's going to constantly give us a problem. But we need to be, how many ways can Satan bully us through fear. Fear is one of the biggest things, like I said, he's gonna get to us. He's gonna bully us through fear. I remember reading in the Little House books about Pa going out there. He'd come back, it was kind of snowy and getting dark. And he thought he saw a bear out in that thing. I mean, he saw this big old grizzly he fired, and it was a tree stump. Now, when you get scared, your mind starts playing games with you. Things look bigger than they are. I mean, you get scared, this cup here can look like a great big silo. I mean, we can through fear, we can really mess ourselves up and we can hinder God's work. Yeah. But we need to do the same thing, like I said, with Satan. We need to kind of stand up to him. We got the hope that Jesus is with us. Jesus is our bodyguard, isn't he? He's our spiritual bodyguard. There's a thing, one of the verse scripture, remember, God is for us, who could be against us? Yeah, Jesus is with us. Jesus is for us. Who's going to... Got up a little bit. But with that hope, I didn't set myself up right. I'm going to just do it this way. I don't know if the camera's picking that up pretty good or not, but with hope, you don't need to fear. He's not mad at you, is he? He's not mad. He didn't come to condemn us, but he did come to save us. You don't have to fear the unknown, like I was mentioned before. You've gone to a place you've really never been to before. You go driving down dark roads. It's a little scary, doesn't it? We're going to be going down some dark spiritual roads in our lives. Well, we know God got Christ with us. Hey, we got light. We got a good headlight. We got a good flashlight going for us. He's going to light that path. So we don't have to be afraid of that unknown path. He's not going to let us. And we don't have to fear change. Some people don't like change. There are a lot of people who don't like change. Our son, when he was little, he never liked anything to change real quick. He didn't like sudden changes. I don't know if he still does or not, but there's a lot of times people don't like change. I see it at work a lot of times. They change some computer program in there. You never hear so much squawking and griping, isn't anybody can do it. I go, you can't fear it. You cannot fear the change. I mean, you got to adjust to it. You got to, like when we have changes in our lives, Christ will be there for us for our change. He's going to help us transition in our changes that we have to make. Do without Christ, you're going to have a hard time with the change, with any changes. It's probably noticed I changed my mother-in-law when she had us taking care of her now. Probably thinking, oh. But, it's, she knows she didn't have to fear the change, but she got, a Christian family taking care of her now. She's not stuck in a nursing home anywhere. Those are, most of all, we don't have to fear death. Why don't we have to fear death? Well, Jesus already conquered that.
Mm-hmm.
He whooped its hind end. I mean, I would put, not to put it that way, he just flat out clobbered to death. We can be scared, we're gonna be uneasy about a lot of things. But we gotta keep in our mind that we got the hope that God's gonna guide it, that God will guide us through it. Jesus will guide us through it. We can't be bullied by Satan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at it this way, if you haven't, got stuff like Satan bully you, if you haven't accepted Christ, you come forward, you take him as Savior. Christ can take care of Satan for you. Say, hey, Christ, sick him. Tell him that much. And now Robert will be leading us to